You're listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more. What up, everybody? It's Al Mega back again with yet another awesome Comic Crusaders podcast. And today, yes, we're focusing on indie comics, specifically an awesome independent comic publisher that one of my fellow Crusaders happens to be a part of. So first, let me introduce the usual face that you guys know and love, the one and only Mr. Shadewing, Steve Sellers. What's popping in, mano?
Oh, glad to be here. I don't know. It's been a really nice day, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. I've been having a very busy day, but it's always because I've been talking to amazing creators all day,
Absolutely.
You know, like yourself, and just like who I'm about to present. I mean, my man is killing it in the independent comic market, Wikid Publishing. You got the Omen Verse. I mean, a whole bunch of stuff going on. There's an awesome Indiegogo that you guys have out right now. I'm very honored to introduce one and only Mike Nunneley.
Hey.
What's popping, kiddo? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Excited to be here.
Now, happy to have you on, man, because I know Shaywin has always preached the greatness of the indie comics and especially the Omen brand. So I'm happy to have you on to discuss, what the brand is all about, all your awesome projects, and hopefully bring our amazing community of Crusaders, to go visit those shops, visit that site and support that amazing Indiegogo you guys have out. So introduce yourself, Mr. Nunneley. Where you from?
I grew up in Chico, California.
Chico, hey.
Yeah. Essentially, I've wanted to make comics since I was 12 years old. I made my first one on typewriter paper. Drew my own art and everything. I got into it as soon as I could after trying a couple of different avenues. Started up Omen Comics back in 2018. Brought in my boy Steve over there to write a couple of the titles for me, and we've since put out we're on, including the Revelation comics. We're at 8 books right now, about to put out a 9th.
Hey, check that out. 2-year journey. 3 years right now. And you have all those books. I mean, you've been doing stuff. You've been kicking ass. And I know that based on the masterminds that we've had, I know Shaving is always on top of it, thinking, this is the next thing we're trying to do here, pop. And I love it. So talk about that. Getting into the creative journey. Mike, I mean, you said you did your own stuff on a typewriter. Kids, a typewriter, look it up, is an old school device, the paper, no screens, So how was that journey? You doing stuff as a kid, but when did the creative bug where you said, okay, I want to do something myself?
I would say that the bug hit me really with 2 sources. As far as world building, it was really young with Talkin. I'm a big fan of Talkin. I loved reading his history books and everything, and how he built all that up. But the comic that actually made me say, you know what, I know I want to be a writer, but I definitely want to be a comic writer, and that's because of the SpiderMan Wolverine comic came back.
The one where Wolverine is smashing the tombstone and you see Spider. Oh.
Yeah.
By Christopher Priest,
bro. That was one of my first comics too. Once I got into it.
Yeah. I got into comics earlier than that, and I really liked them, but that one really, it made me say, you know what, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to tell stories.
Damn, man, you made me miss that book now. Shit. I wish I never partied with it. And it's a beautiful cover, and I get it. For me, that was also one of my first times, at least that I saw. It was like, Spider-Man is fighting Wolverine, but aren't they good? Type situation. Like, what's going on here? Definitely was a great book for the imagination. Definitely a lot more adultish content inside. That was
that was one of the things that really appealed to me, was that a lot of the comics I was reading back at that time were felt, kind of, I guess, watered down. They weren't like adults type stories, and like you said, that Spider-Man versus Wolverine comic definitely was.
Yeah, it was very adultish, and I like that for that. If took the characters seriously, where I now take them seriously. That was one of those points. Like, okay, there's a lot more stuff than just them being, hey, I'm the good guy. There was a lot deeper things going on.
Right,
That's
right.
what that helps show me.
There's a lot more that went into the actual what became the Omenverse itself. I got into mythology really young, particularly Greek and Norse mythology.
Did you have a mythology teacher in school?
No.
Never?
All my mythology background is from devouring every book at the library.
Oh, I actually had a mythology teacher in junior high
nice.
school. It was a whole mythology class.
I never had a mythology teacher, but I did definitely have like literature courses that like went into Greek mythology fairly decently.
Okay, see, the only other thing I had, again, I guess this was Brooklyn. I guess they probably thought we were all illiterate, so we needed all the help we could get. So besides the mythology class, we had a creative writing class. And I'll never forget the teacher's name. I couldn't pronounce it at first. So he would tell everybody, call me Mr. U. But I want to give a shout out to this guy. He taught us creative writing. He was teaching us to have fun with it. And unfortunately, there was ungrateful kids in the classroom. Hey, it's the 90s. What do you want? But Mr. Uthganat, if you're still around, thank you. Because he definitely helped build up my creative juices and imagination.
That's kind of fun to say, Uthganat.
Uthganat, yeah, I mean.
That's a really interesting name.
But people would he would be like, you can't say it, just call me Mr. U. Okay? All right, bet.
All right.
I forgot my mythology teacher's name because I remember one day he was teaching us about Zeus, Odin, one of the two. Mm-hmm. And he actually brought in a garbage lid, the metal ones, and he had this stick and he's talking, he's actually acting it out. You hear the thunder and he's smashing this, that the vice principal game and everything okay in here? Because again, we were troublesome school. So everything okay? Oh yeah, it's just me teasing. And she goes, oh my God, I thought there was a rumble here. Because, the day before we did have one in the lunchroom. But hey, tales for another day.
Where were those classes when I was in school, man?
You should have went to New York, man. Brooklyn.
I guess so.
I didn't get any cool stuff like that until I got into grad school. So.
Oh, man. Crazy. So, all right. So you guys, you're into mythology, and the seeds are starting to sprinkle in your brain, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. The other huge influence has got to be horror. I'm a big horror fan. Have been since I first saw one of the first films I remember watching was A Nightmare on Elm Street in 1984.
Oh, nice. Okay, I gotta ask you, what was your first horror movie at a movie theater that your parents took you to?
That my parents took me to.
Did they take you to any horror?
Well, I think the first horror movie I saw in the theater was not. My parents didn't take me to it. We usually bought. That was in the 80s, So the thing was, we'd rent the videos at the store,
the mom and pop video store.
Yeah. For me, it was American Werewolf in London, but I barely remember it now. Oh,
really? My first horror movie in a movie theater was Linda Blair's Hell Night that my parents took me to.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, they put me in strong on that one, and then they don't know what they did to me because after that it was Fangoria magazines and horror movies at the video store. I mean, the lady knew immediately as soon as, hey Alex, we got new movies in today. I know what you like, so here, look, we got these if you want them. She used to give me first dibs on the horror tapes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was in there frequently.
At the video store.
Yeah, it was the mom and shop. It was called Prestige Video Mom and Pop. I remember that when they went out of business though. Sadly, my boys, two of my these guys is crazy. They bought up the whole porno section. I mean, every video. I mean, they're like,
that's saying something. Because pop stores, they got a section of porno.
Yes, they bought every. I'm like, I saw them carrying boxes. Me being a good friend. You need help? They're like, yeah, grab a box. And I'm like, what's in it? They're like, oh, take a look. If you want something, grab it. I open, I'm like, oh my God, no, you didn't. And I'm taking this to my boy's house with his mom there, and she's like, what's in the boxes? And I turned massively red, and I'm like, oh my God, I hope she does not stop one of us and looks inside. Good old days.
Yeah.
So okay, so you're doing the video store, so you got into horror. So now we have mythology link and we have the horror link.
Right. If there's one more link, it's got that, and this is one me and Steve actually have in common, and that's classic literature.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say classic literature is going to be a big influence on Guardians of Elayim, which we're going to talk about.
Hey, excellent. All right, so let's get into that. Actually, let me pull up the link first, because I want people to take a look at what we're talking about, no doubt. And can you give a kind of a little information about it, about the Guardians?
Yeah, the basic idea is that this is a time travel series that really starts with Roman Jerusalem and 7 people making a terrible mistake. And the angels basically recruit these people to go back and fix the damage they cause by going to various points in time and space and fixing the damage. And some of these adventures that they will be dropped into will involve classical literature. In fact, I would say the first arc after the first issue deals directly with the Trojan War. And there are definitely other locations in time and space that they'll be going to after that.
Hey, let's talk about. Oh, actually, look at this. I didn't know you had an audio video there. So you know what I got to do now, right? We have to share that, and then we're going to continue talking about this awesomeness here, because we got to see this video now. We got to hear it too. Let's do this. Don't you love technology? Sometimes it's like, yeah, I didn't know this. Let's do it. That's okay.
Art courtesy of Tosin Awosika.
Right, in Guardians of Elayim #1, we find out what happens when you kill a god. 2,000 years ago, the son of El was crucified by the Romans. And when that happened, there was a great earthquake. The sun itself disappeared from the sky, and it became black as night. The dead were seen risen up out of the grave and walking around Jerusalem. As Marius Longinus takes the spear of destiny and pierces it through the side of Yeshua, killing him off, there's a great and terrible thunderous crack in the sky as the Elayim tree, the world tree itself, splinters and cracks, creating havoc across space-time and threatening all of existence. Now, heaven is furious about the death of El's son, and they're particularly mad about the damage done to the Elayim tree. So the angel set over time, Uriel, gathers together the motley crew of people most responsible for Yeshua's death, including Marius Longinus, and under threat of eternal damnation, demands that they travel through the mythological past of the Omenverse and repair the Elayim tree. All right, I want to talk to you about the Omenverse. Now, the Omenverse is very near and dear to my heart. I've been working on this for a lot of years. Essentially, what I did was put together all of my loves into one universe, and to do that, I amalgamated the world's myths, legends, folklore, various religious beliefs. And I blended them together with horror, the supernatural, apocalyptic themes, and superheroes. And that, my friend, is the recipe for the Omenverse. We hope you're as excited about bringing this unique time travel adventure into the world as we are. We love making comics around here. Omenverse is a really fun universe to work in, and this title, Guardians of Elayim in particular, is particularly fun. Out of all of our 6 titles, the Guardians of Elayim title is the one that really allows us to explore the amalgamated mythological history of the Omenverse, and that makes it particularly neat. Just to give you a little taste, one of the first places the Guardians are going to go is to Troy, so that'll be really fun. Now, your support, along with getting you some cool stuff from Omen Comics, helps pay for the creation of Guardians of Elayim, and we want to thank you for that support in advance. Now, just sharing this video and helping us get the word out is a great help. We want to thank you for watching this video, and we want to thank you for your interest in Guardians of Elayim.
Hey, there you go. Kicking ass. Yes, sir. So look at this. We got some awesome artwork on screen, right?
Tosin just continues to kill it on these images. That was the variant cover that he did for #1.
Ooh, Ooh, can you kind of give us a breakdown on these characters here? What's popping?
Yeah, I can definitely talk about them. Yeah, Maris Longinus, who is the person that Mike talked about in the video, is our main character. And I kind of looked at him like immediately, like he was the first character that came to my mind when I was looking at this. Because I needed a character who was directly involved in events and somebody with a personal stake in the story. And considering he's the one who actually spears Yeshua in the side with the spear and is made largely responsible for what's going on, it seemed logical to me that it should be a redemption story. And redemption really is a big theme of the Omenverse in general. So he really fits that. He's a Roman centurion, and I kind of look at him as like Captain Rome to give you an idea. He's somebody who believes in what the principles of what Rome was founded on, but he has to follow orders, and so he is doing his duty, even though it's not what he would personally choose to do.
Gotcha.
I love that. I love that name, Captain Rome for Marius. That is just cool.
It's just the easiest way to describe him. I mean, he is I guess a cultural hero in the same way that Captain America is. It's just that he's embodying very ancient values.
Okay, and over here, this is the sign-up page, right? When do you expect the book to go live on Indiegogo?
The book is going live on the 20th, just this next Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, a week, folks! You better sign up. Stop wasting time.
You got a week.
Yeah, you got 1 week to sign up. And I gotta ask you, I saw this. What's this all about? Getting drawn into comics?
Well, check this out. Do you remember the Superman versus Ali comic where they had the spread on the cover that had all the different celebrities and everything in it, right? Right. Well, I got a similar scene that's going to take place at a high school, and I'm going to draw in. I believe there's 48 slots available. This is going to be a big old double page spread, and it's going to take place in a high school during like a rally. So it's going to be a couple of shots of people in the stands and everything.
Ooh, that means that Omega could be part of the audience in the Omenverse.
That's right.
Hey, I love it.
Dragon Girl and Albino Warrior, I believe it is.
Yeah, Dragon Girl, Albino Warrior. That's going to be the comic that comes out next, right after Guardians of Elayim.
Oh,
yeah,
look
that's
at
our
these
martial
guys.
arts book.
Jesus Christ, these guys are like planning ahead. I just got off a podcast where they were talking about planning ahead. I mean, you don't even have Guardians out of Elayim, and you already talking about the next project too. Amazing. What a work machine.
We are all up in that. Actually, I'm personally about 7 or 8 comics ahead of our publishing schedule. We got a lot coming. A whole big old phase coming your way. Going to be somewhere around maybe 60, 70 comics.
Wow, folks. I mean, thank you first for being one of those forward-thinking creators that are prepping in advance. For people, that way they could get their books on time. Now, what's the purpose of the Indiegogo for this project? What are we looking to accomplish?
Well, honestly, making comics is a team effort, and it can get very expensive to make even one, especially a 44-page comic like Guardians of Elayim.
44 pages?
Yeah.
For the first issue? Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
It was a long script to write.
Poor Steve. No wonder he ain't sleep.
Yeah, and he had to do a lot of research into that too.
The research process for Guardians is probably the most of any title I do, and it's rewarding. It's always fun to do it, especially if I can find little factoids or little bits of character that I can throw into a particular script for Guardian. So yeah, I'm glad to do it.
In the research for Guardian, was there any particular thing that stuck out at you as either being like extremely funny or like extremely horrible, but you weren't aware of before?
For this particular issue, I think there was one point where I was trying to research Roman soldiers and how they actually took care of their horses, and particularly how they dealt with their trash. I'm not going to describe it here, but it was interesting.
Oh man, all right, that really sounds bad. And then even the treatment of horses, I don't want to. Oh God. Like I told you, I have an overactive imagination. Like I already smell the horse shit. Horrible.
Well, I had horses that I kind of needed to account for, so I was like, okay, where are they going to be at this particular point in the script? And
Hopefully not on somebody's plate.
Yeah, yeah.
Or in
Crazy.
somebody's
Which
bed.
this is not like it. This is not like an immature comic, so
Okay.
you know that stuff is off to the side.
Excellent. So how does this tie into the greater universe that you guys are building?
I would say it's definitely the historical background to what's going on now. I try to write everything so that it's independent and that you can read it on its own. But when you read it with the other things, you see a larger picture that comes together. I would say there's definitely in the second issue, we start talking a little bit more big picture stuff because the angels are more involved in that. And the angels have their hooks in other books that we're doing. I would say particularly Omen. Omen ties into it. And then there's a major character from our other book, my other book, White Druid and Michael Nero, who will show up as a recurring character. And that is Luo Shi, the White Druid. And in fact, he cameos in the first issue.
Oh my God. Folks, it's going to be a collector's item. It's going to be a very nice color. Go ahead.
If I could just answer your question, our main goal for this campaign is just paying for the comic itself. The comic is getting made right now. In fact, the colors should be done in just a couple of days. And then they're going to be it should be done being lettered by the time it gets done. Anyway, that we're asking for $2,637, and it's 37. I'm telling you, because that's exactly how much money we need.
Wow. So you're not even going over. You just want to be able to put the book in people's hands. That's what you need to make it happen.
Yeah.
Right. It's not.
Hands
It's
down.
really just about getting the book out there.
And
Wonderful.
the art is out there, and it's amazing. I'm hoping that it'll validate expectations. Let's just put it that way.
Excellent. You know, I also want to show off because I mean, we're talking about all this. There goes the Wikid publishing universe, Omen Comics. I mean, Patreon. I mean, all right, that's something I want to ask. I mean, how is the Patreon going for you? And when somebody's a part of your Patreon, you know, I mean, what are we getting? What's going on here?
Well, we got, like, as you're seeing there, we got different packages. It all depends on the level of involvement you want. Some people just want to get the comics and the art. They don't want any of the extra stuff like the videos we put out and the insider information, all of that. So that's what the first couple of packages are there for. They're for people who just want the digital copies or stuff. And then if your digital isn't enough for you and you want printed copies, that's what that $6 one is there in there for. You get the digital stuff and the printed stuff.
Wait, for $6 a month, you get a print book too on top of the digi?
Yep,
that's a bargain. Oh, hell yeah. Hell
yeah. And those last two there, that's when you get all of the good stuff. That's when you get all of our background. By the way, check out those pictures. That there is Scott Tipton on the $7 one, and that one is Terry Mayo on the $10 one.
Oh, how did you get them involved with whoa,
they're friends.
Hey, they're your peoples. Okay.
Yeah. We go all the way back to Chico Comics Space. So
awesome. Look at this. You got stuff going on. You know, you got origins. All right. You got goals, but people support it. This is independent comics. This is how independent comics happen. All right. Look at it.
Yeah.
Omen Comics, Revelation Comics, right? We got the Indiegogo. And talk a little bit about the Wikid Publishing.
Wikid Publishing. We signed with them, back in July.
Yep.
Okay.
And so far, they have put out the first 4 of our books. That's Omen #1, White Druid and Michael Nero #1, Galsman #1, and then the first of the Revelation comics, Blitz #1. That's Steve's baby right there.
Yep.
Yes. I saw him that picture that he was showing it off all proudly, like a father coming out of a hospital with a newborn baby. That's how he looked with that comic book.
Dude, that's that is how Tosin makes you feel when you write something and he busts it out with that art. I mean, every time you're just like, yes, that is what I was thinking.
Yeah, he has a way of reading your mind. I just am amazed by it, and that's really the joy of doing comics like this. Is you have a thing in your head, and then you send it off to an artist, thinking, "Okay, yeah, I know what this is going to look like. It's going to look great," and then he comes back to you with this amazing thing that you never had imagined, and is way better than what was in your head, and that's the magic.
And do you admit that at the time? Wow, this looks better than even I thought.
Oh yeah, definitely. I always embrace that sort of thing. It's like, yeah, if you come up with something better than what I had in my head, that makes me happy. As long as the book is better for it, that's good, right with me.
Agreed.
You put this really well the other day, I think. When we were talking about Tosin's efforts in Omen and Revelation comics.
Yeah.
The artist essentially does the heavy lifting in a comic story.
Absolutely.
And Tosin not only carries that, he's like, throw on a little bit more. I can work this stuff. It doesn't matter what we throw at him. It doesn't matter what we say. Do this. He just busts it out.
Draw Roman Jerusalem, and then you see the pages, and they're like, oh my God, that's even better than what I had laid out.
Amazing.
Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't want to work with the whole team we got here between Guido Martinez, Tosin Awosika, Russ Pirozek is our editor, me and Steve. That makes the Omenverse creative team there. And
so how did you find your team, though? You guys connected on Talkin, right? And Class A, but how did you find the rest of your team?
A lot of this actually came from when I ran the Chico Comics page. It was like an online comic magazine.
Okay.
It was kind of like we were doing some of the same kinds of things that I do for Crusaders.
Okay.
I with Tosin specifically, we were doing artist spotlights, and I interviewed him. Same thing with Guido Martinez. I got a hold of him, and check this out. We're international. Tosin is all the way over in Ibadan, Nigeria.
Oh, wow.
And Guido Martinez all the way down in Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Oh, nice.
And we spread across the United States, too.
So you got the U.S., you got Nigeria's in Africa, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you got Sudamerica. Jesus Christ, look at you. Just like the Crusaders, I got people in Australia, UK, Germany, and across the whole US. I love it. Don't you love technology? You can build an amazing team of people that are just as passionate as you, and you probably never even shook their hand once in real life.
Yeah, but the internet makes everything possible, and you can always virtually handshake as much as you want.
No way, but one day I want to shake your hand for real, Shaywin, because you've been an awesome Crusader, always.
Definitely,
since you came on.
And I really appreciate the opportunities I've gotten from both of you. So,
no, man, and Mike, I mean, you brought him to us, Mike Nunneley, and I love it. He's a person just like us, we're good spirited, we're independent, and we're trying to bring the best version of ourselves and our products to a world of fans, just like us, through positive stuff, which is great, and I really love that. Now,
yeah, man,
I want to know this, just from a creative perspective, why go Indiegogo route and not Kickstarter?
Actually, that was and the advice of Wikid Publishing. They had suggested that they've had a lot more success on Indiegogo than they have on Kickstarter. So I went with that.
Okay, so just out of a recommendation, not any personal experience.
Yeah, I've had a couple. I've tried both Kickstarter and Indiegogo in the past for our previous comics, and they just didn't. The campaigns just didn't do all that well.
I think that Indiegogo is one of those things where you have to have a certain level of recognition in order to really take off. But once you get that, then you do better.
I know. Listen, I spoke to a creator that has joined a particular hashtag, and he says that he noticed sales increases because of that. Now, money's money, I get it, but I would never associate myself with any hashtag that I don't feel comfortable with. Feel me?
Yeah.
I don't want to.
I'm sure we can all think of a few.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't want to use my platform to talk about them, but just want to say it's like, I guess there's a market for everyone, right? Hey, whatever. But with Guardians, this whole usage. Oh, that's another thing. I mean, you mentioned angels. You kind of throw, I guess, religious stuff into it. Sure. Have you guys gotten any type of feedback from those communities?
I have not
No.
personally. No.
Good, thank goodness. You don't want it.
Yeah. No. I mean, I just kind of look at it in the same way as Marvel has their version of Thor and their version of Hercules and all these other things. It's the same thing.
Oh, wait a minute. So
or Spawn does with Christian theology. I mean, it's we're trying to create a fictional version to tell with our stories. It's not necessarily making a commentary on religion per se. That said, I have always strived, I think in this issue, to make sure that Yeshua comes along, reasonably accurate and respectful to the people who believe. I'll
love it. Folks, it's right there. Look, do that pre-order, because if you do the pre-order, you get a little break, right? Up to 10% off, right?
Yeah.
So they gotta sign up. It's dropping next week. Get in there, so you can save a couple of bucks right now. All right. But what's most importantly is you gotta get into the minds of these creators, right? So you gotta follow Mike. You gotta follow Steve, right? Yes, sir.
I'd like to mention also with combining, with amalgamating all these different mythologies and beliefs and stuff into one universe. These are not necessarily going to be as familiar as they might be to those who are accustomed to these, and this is the reason why. I don't. For those of you that have read mythology at all, that every base mythology from every culture all believes that they are the only gods, that they are the creators of the universe. And so I had to amalgamate that. I had to put a universe where all of these gods could exist in the same universe without contradicting each other, and that required making some changes.
Ooh, I want to see all these people battle.
Yeah. Well, let's just say we got a little something in store for you.
Yeah. Hold on a second.
No worries, you take care of that. And so with the projects going on the 20th, you got this amalgamation. I love that, though. It is kind of crazy and different, because a lot of comics don't touch on these type of themes anymore. Spawn is one of the few that does that Christian stuff, and I know for a fact that there's been Christians that have had problems with that book. Me, it's just a comic book, folks. Relax. You know what I mean?
That's totally where we're at with it too. We're not trying to make political or religious speeches here. We're just trying to tell an entertaining story,
and that's what's key. Story is everything. Even with a movie, for example, my wife loves movies that are in your face, but for me, those lack substance. You do a movie that has, I saw James Wan Malignant. For me, I really enjoyed that. We finally got an OG killer again.
Yeah,
it came off with a weird twist that I already identified from the beginning. So this is what it is. All right, I'm not going to say it here for people that haven't watched it yet. I said, babe, I bet you this is what it is. When the revelation came, she just looks at me like, you asshole. How the hell did you know? I read too many comic books. I have Shadewing in my head telling me this is what's going on.
See, I didn't. I had a couple of theories in that story in Malignant, and by the time it did the big reveal at the end there, I was like, wait a minute, I was not ready for that at all.
I still need to finish it. I've started on it, and it looked really, really creepy. I like James Wan, but I haven't gotten through the rest of it.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's creepy, it's cool, it's different. I was very happy to find. Again, it's not a remake, it's not a reboot, and again, like with what M. Night Shyamalan did, with Glass and all that, I feel that that's what he's going to do here. Create this very weird, crazy universe. Because, again, watch the movie, folks. You're going to see,
James Wan, I think, is the horror master of our time.
You know what? As a horror fan, I will agree with you. For our time, for now, for this time.
Yeah, right.
And I'm going to add an amen to that too. We're talking Saw. We're talking Insidious.
Conjuring.
We're talking.
The
Conjuring. I mean, Aquaman. Not just horror. Aquaman, dude. That was badass.
The trench was a creepy, creepy scene.
And I love that they used that because again, Jeff Johns brought that shit out when what was it, the New 52, that whole trend stuff. I was very happy to see that because now that kind of gives Aquaman a really some cool, respectable monster in the sea to fight. That a good purpose for him over here too. Like the sea is not just my people trying to get at you. There's other shit out there. That trend stuff was really creepy. I loved it. Are we gonna get any creepy monsters here too in this universe? How many creepy monsters are we gonna get?
He definitely specializes more in the horror than I do. I have. White Druid and Michael Nero starts off with a grisly murder, but I don't think I really keep it there as consistently. But if you want to look at horrific stuff, I would say read Gallows Men because Patrick O'Leary is probably one of our scariest characters.
Nice.
Patrick O'Leary is our resident slasher.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Hey, everybody needs one. Come on. Everybody needs a resident slasher. I miss those days of the 80s. Every 2-3 years we were getting a new cool slasher. Up until what happened, I don't know. Lately, we don't get anything. Until Minute, we got something there. I think.
Right. I really love that new direction he's going with that. He's done a lot of the more paranormal, supernatural stuff with his other films. This felt like a supervillain origin story.
Thank you. Now you see where I'm going with it. I could see something really being created here, something larger. Because if that's possible in that universe, what else? Similar to what M. Night, right? With Mr. Glass, when he says, "Yo, I gotta find somebody that's unbreakable." Then, because if I'm breakable, there's got to be somebody that's unbreakable. The total opposite. Now, there we go. Let's get into that one comic chat really quickly before we let you go. Do you think that holds any truth, that there is a complete opposite to whatever exists? 100. Do you think there is a possibility that one day, if humans are going to start living past 100 years, and past 100 years, apparently they're going to look like they're still in their 50s. Do you think that maybe there is in the future a line somewhere down the line where we're going to have a power? Whether it's, for us, I don't see flight, but I see strength, super strength. What do you think?
I think that all kind of is hinging on what they call the singularity. When we get to transfer our consciousness into like a machine body.
Oh shit!
You don't want Omega to definitely be a possibility. You advance technology, both biology and technology. Enough. It's certainly possible. Cyberpunk futures are quite plausible. I don't know. I guess we're just going to have to see where science takes us. I've heard of all kinds of news reports about experiments on monkeys and that have kind of gained traction. And
Cygor is real.
Yeah. To a certain degree. I don't think we're going to have. I went and saw a show on one of the Discovery networks, and basically Adam Savage from the Mythbusters built an Iron Man suit that was functional. It doesn't work as well as the Iron Man suit, but it flew, and it could take a bullet. It was titanium, yes. So I would say it's not impossible.
Oh, was it like the version of the suit like from the cave, like that version?
Yeah, no. It was actually like one of the more modern looking suits.
Really?
Wow. Yeah, they actually got permission from Kevin Feige to do it. Yeah.
Really? Mm-hmm. I wouldn't ask permission. I'll build my shit, bro. Get out of here. I'm gonna build it and I'm gonna fly up to Marvel's office. This is how you do it, and then fly away. I'll be an asshole. I'm sorry. That's why I said this to Nemesis the other day. They were having a conversation in the Comic Crusaders chat about heroes and killing and all. And this is why I said, if I was a hero, just keep me locked up. And I think that kind of answers where I would go.
Right. I'm fairly certain that if I ever had like a really powerful superpower, it would corrupt me. If I had the Force, I would use it inappropriately. I would not follow the Jedi way. You know what I mean?
All those Force chokes.
Oh, wait a minute. Are we getting into another conversation? Are you going to be one of those gray Jedis or Sith or something?
Maybe philosophically, but I'm definitely going to have my Sith edges.
I'm definitely more of I would say a light gray Jedi.
Oh man, I'm the darkest gray they come. Forget about it. That's what I would be. Listen, if powers like that were real, the fun that I would have with world leaders, I say here, yes. This is all fake, folks. Don't worry, I ain't hurting nobody. But if I had powers, man, world leaders that were assholes, y'all better watch out. I'll tell you that much right now. I'll be doing some crazy stuff beyond what Superman would do.
These are not the
Actually,
droids we're looking for.
That was something I liked about the new 52 Superman was that he was initially doing that. Like there was a corrupt politician in Metropolis. He just went straight up to his apartment and hung him over the balcony. Like, you're gonna handle this and you're gonna do it now.
He went straight Golden Age Superman with that.
Yeah, and that's great. I miss that. I miss that type again because heroes don't need to be goody two shoes. We need to sometimes use the tools of the villain. And I jest when I say heroes should kill. No, they shouldn't. I say that jestfully. You know what I mean? But we need to have that though, where they are willing to use certain tools of the villain.
I kind of like both aspects. I think we need both, and this is one of the reasons why one of my books it's basically a lighthearted hero. And then somebody like Night Spider, who is a former professional thief with superpowers, and so you get that clash, and I think that's really interesting because you can have those kinds of discussions.
There you go, folks. You see the type of stuff you're gonna get from the Omenverse, from Revelations, from everything. I mean, you're gonna get a piece of everything. And what's even crazy is you got religion, you got mythos, and again, don't take it seriously, folks. It's fun stuff, fun collabos and amalgams, as the verb is being used today. Again, so please sign up to the Indiegogo. Let me present this on screen. It's right there. Very simple. It's on pre-launch right now. You get 10% off if you sign up before next Monday. So get that done. Now, find out about the publishers right here. So follow Omen, Wikid Publishing, Omenverse. Please support the Patreon. You saw what you could get for $6. You get in digital and print. Tell me when Marvel would do that for you. Never. All right. And then, of course, you got Comics Omen, Revelation Comics, and please follow the individuals, Mr. Nunneley and Mr. Sellers on the socials right here. Mike Nunneley 5, Shadewing, that's what he is. He's Nightwing's brother that stays in the shade.
Wasn't actually my intent to name it like that, but yeah,
it kind of fits, right?
Yeah. It's basically like a sci-fi character I created.
Oh shit! Yeah, we're gonna see Steve Sellers, action hero, aka Shadewing, coming soon. I would love it. All right, so guys, is there anything else we got to cover right now, other than support that beautiful Indiegogo next week?
I just want to give a shout out also to our artists. It's at AWOTOSIN Tosin. He's got great rates. He's really talented, and also the same for Guido Martinez, G_Mart8 on Twitter. Both of those really talented guys, really great rates. I would take advantage of that.
So wait, you're saying great rates? So they're available for work now on someone's project? Should they need those services?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's awesome. So check them out. There you go. Please email me that information so I could add it into the show notes in case people are wondering. They don't need to keep rewinding, but here it goes. If you want top talent that are going to put in the work, and like you heard Shadewing, like great turnaround. All right. And that's what people are looking for. We need people to get work done. So you're going to show them the love, but most importantly, show Omen Comics the love. Mike, Steve, Shadewing, everything. Revelation, Omen. That's it. I'm an Omenverse. Make mine Omen, kiddo. I love it.
Yeah. We call Omen fans Omenauts.
The Omenauts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an Omenaut. Right. When am I gonna get my spacesuit? That's what I feel like I'm gonna go into here. I
don't know why, but I always think of Juggernaut when I think of that.
Oh right? Man. Oh,
you should be stopped.
You know what? You should create a Juggernautish character as the mascot for the Omenauts. I can see it.
Right.
Yeah, put a flying a backpack on him, like the Rocketeer, something bigger. We're Americans. We got to do bigger.
we got a name for Revelation Comics fans too, don't we, Steve?
Yes, I call them Revelationists. Well, there's always this this panel of Kirby's Dark Side, talking about Revelationists, and I'm like, you know what? I like that so much, I'm going to use it.
Revelationist. There you go. Be an Omenaut or a Revelationist, but whatever it is, support these two amazing independent comic book creators. They're doing stuff to keep us entertained, folks. So give them their flowers while they're here. Mike, Steve, thank you for what you do. Thank you for the entertainment. Thank you for sharing pieces of yourselves in your work and on the vidcast and podcast. You guys are awesome and amazing. Folks, you know what to do. I'm not going to repeat myself with the exception of course, visit our comic shop. comiccrusaders.shop, and our swag shop at comiccrusaders.us. I'm Al Mega with the amazing Mike Nunneley and Steve Shea Wing Sellers. Thank you for tuning in to another Comic Crusaders podcast. Hasta la próxima, mi gente.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.com and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also, make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.